Hey everyone, Hex here, and today something a little bit different. I'm going to make a deck here and now and then jump straight into some games on the ladder, see how we get on. I've had a couple of comments to do that, so let's jump right in. But firstly, if you are new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel below, and whilst you're there, smash that like button too. I really appreciate all the support that everybody gives this channel, and you won't want to miss out on future videos and future brews. So let's jump in with the card I want to make a deck around, Insatiable Avarice here. The spree card that manipulates the top card of your library or force a player to draw some cards. So this card is fantastic with a few different critters. We've got the Orzhov Bronco and we have Hitotsugu. So both of these cards like to have a decent card on top of their deck. Let's start with Hitotsugu. When this ETBs, you draw 3 and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. When this dies, you exile the top card of your library and the target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. And if it's an instant or sorcery, you may cast it without paying its mana. So, little combo here. You play your Hitotsugu, you Avarice, looking for something like Explosive Singularity. And you can then, if Hitotsugu dies, can do 20 damage to your opponent, the 10 damage from the mana value of this card, and then cast in the sorcery for free. We've done this before. Avarice is a new card, so maybe it makes the combo a little bit easier, but let's try something different. I actually don't want to play Hitotsugu in this particular deck. Orzhov Bronco, interesting. It's played a lot in the Pro Tour, and I've seen it a lot on the ladder since. When this attacks, you reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's mana value if the Bronco isn't saddled. Otherwise, each opponent loses that much life, and it has saddle 3. My main issue with this particular card is you have to saddle it, and a lot of players are playing creatures that are a lot bigger than 2/2s on turn 3, so the Bronco is going to die unless you play the Bronco later on in the game and you manipulate the top card of your library with something like a Shadow of Mortality. 15 damage to your opponent, and draw this card. Not quite dead, but this combo has been done several times. It's played a lot in Orzhov because you can give your Bronco some kind of evasion with things like Steel Seraph. I actually don't want to play the Bronco in this deck either. There are other cards you could play, but we're going to go straight for its last ability here, and we're going to see if we can win with our good friend Sheoldred. So Sheoldred, and the last ability here is 9 damage to your opponent if you target them. So this is what we're going to go for. I always like to play 25, 26 lands, and also I like every card in my deck to do more than one thing, except the removal spells, which I always like about 7 or 8. So let's just leave 8 removal spells just as placeholders, really. So how else can we leverage Sheoldred in this particular build? Well, we want to draw cards, or we want to force our opponent to draw cards. So let's just type the word draw into the search bar, and we will look for some creatures first. Yeah. So Felsting is nice, as when it exploits a creature, target player draws 2 and loses 2. Exploiting itself with Sheoldred in the battlefield is a lot of damage, and it's quite a nice curve filler in the 3 mana slot. So pretty nice card for us there. There's actually a new one, isn't there, in the 3 mana spot. I forget what it's called. Let's have a look. It is called... Where are we? Unscrupulous Contractor, that's the one. When ETBs, you may sack a creature. When you do, target player draws 2 and loses 2. So how about we play this? I don't know if this is any good. Yeah, I mean, but it's not that bad. You know, what's kind of fun here is that these are both 3 mana, 3 power creatures. So let's not throw out the Bronco idea for the minute. Bronco turn 2 into one of these cards on turn 3 attack. Whether the Bronco dies is not too much of a problem. It does mean that we can potentially get some value here. Question is, do we play the mortality in this deck? I don't really want to, but maybe we do. Let's go for mortality. Let's just try it. Let's just give it a go. Shadow of Mortality here. I'm just going to play 2 copies. Worst thing to do is attack with a Bronco and have a Shadow on the top, and you haven't had a chance to saddle your creature. In this particular deck, I want some other cheap cards. So let's go for our friends, the Bats. Bats are 2 mana creatures, and they are here. Bats, and if I'm playing backs, I like to play Gix. Gix is a sweet card at drawing you some cards. So my question is, does every card do something more than what I want it to do? So the Bats are nice as they are going to look in your opponent's hand and exile a card. Bats plus Gix work really well because you can potentially draw some cards. Gix plus Shelly works really well. The Avarice, forcing the opponent to draw a load of cards, is pretty sweet. I mean, I'm thinking about, do we play blue in this deck? So I just don't know if Bronco is good enough in this particular build here. It's taking up 6 slots, and we may get 1 or 2 meme wins with it, but could we play something better? I think we might be able to, actually, and I'm going to venture into blue a little bit here because it's a card I really want to play, actually. The card from the new set, well, it's not a creature, definitely. It is called Step Between Worlds. Each player shuffles or may shuffle their hand and graveyard into the library. Then each player who does draws 7 cards. You know, with this and Sheldred on the battlefield, you gain 14 life, and if your opponent's not paying attention, they're going to take 14 damage. I don't hate this card. I also don't hate the new counter spell in 3 steps ahead. Draw 2 cards and discard a card or counter a spell. You can create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. And if we target one of maybe our Felstingers or Contractors, again with Shelly on the battlefield, that could be some serious damage. Or we can draw some cards to gain some life. So let's play 3 copies of those. Now, removal wise, I don't necessarily like playing so much removal in a deck, to be honest. And I'm not a big fan of having 2 blue mana needed for the 3 steps ahead. We have the 2, I just don't want to be relying on removal spells this entire game. And using the Avarice is taking up 4 slots here of a card that is very niche. So I think having maybe another Bat and the 8 removals are fine, but what are we playing? I just definitely don't want 4 copies of Cut Down, and we are looking at another removal spell. Let's have a look. It'll be a Destroy. I was playing the Shoot the Sheriff earlier, but of course I got paired up against an Outlaws deck, which didn't work too well. Maybe a Path, but that eats our Bats. Not something I necessarily want to do. We could play Long Goodbye. Long Goodbyes are pretty sweet. Hits Planeswalkers, or cheap Planeswalkers. Maybe we'll play this. I haven't really seen too many Planeswalkers recently, so the next question is, what are we doing with these 4 creatures here? I think this is okay. I'm going to go up another Gix, though, and down a copy of the... maybe the Stinger. It's one of these two. Let's go down a copy of the contract. Stinger has Death Touch, and I think that's pretty nice. Do I want to play the new Jace? Do I want to play the new Jace? Jace Reawaken, that's the one. So Jace, what are we looking to plot in this deck? It's a card I've been thinking about for a while. Tell you what, a really good card to play with this is Geralf, the zombie card. I'm going to leave this for the minute, but I do want to play with this card. It does draw and discard. Drawing is nice with Shelly. I think we'll keep this as the deck. So our plan here is to use the search your library for a card and put that card on top sporadically, maybe to find some answers to the opponent's threats. But we're actually going to try and utilize its second ability here. Okay, let's sort out the land real quick. So they want us to play that. We do need a lot of black mana here for the Avarice. It is a double black or a triple black card. We need double blue for 3 steps ahead, and I'm not planning on playing this card for any other reason than countering removal spells on turn 5 or 6. So I think we should be good here. First thing to pop into the deck are the channel lands, and we can put all the double black lands in river, shores, and marsh. I always like 2-man lands in the reefs. And then we look at the Undercity sewers. Now, this particular card, you want to think, do you want things in the graveyard? Is that something you're looking to do? And our answer is no. So why would we play a tap land that does that? The only thing it does is it helps fix your next draw. But I'm not really that fussed about that either. I definitely don't want a tap land. We've got one mana play. So I think this is fine. There are other lands available if you want to. Definitely want to play an extra couple of black mana sources. So we actually have quite a bit of basics. Question is, do we play something like Mirex? I don't think so. We've got a lot of double black. I think this is fine. I think we're going to go with this. So we're going to just try and push Sheoldred as much as possible. Yeah, I think this is okay. We will go with this. So, definitely don't want to call it new deck. Let's just call it Shelly Draw Die. And we'll go into a game and see how we get on. Oh, I'm not playing a bot match. That is definitely not what I'm doing. A Shelly Draw Die. Okay. All right then. Like I said, if you could hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, that would be great. So we queue up into our first game here with our deck. Also, I'm in the very early stages of making a Patreon to help support the channel further, and the links are in the description, along with the link to my untapped.gg link where you can download it for yourself. Again, support the channel, but also have access to an amazing tool which allows you to keep track of your stats and keep track of some of your opponent's stats as well if you have their details. This hand, though, it's fine. We have a turn 1 play. I really don't like having the Otawara here. We're looking for a land. We have to hit a land drop in the first couple of turns here. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to go for it. Is this greedy? Opponent on white-black. Ooh, come on, deck. Come on, not like this. Please, not our first game here. LS Ilcore. Well, that's something I can cut down immediately. Yep, we are out of action already. Whew. Lovely. All right, I definitely want a land drop next turn. But also, I can't counter, can I? I need 2 blue mana to do that. All right, we are going to do something pretty crazy. But I'm going to make sure that I hit a land next turn. And I want the double blue as well. Playing the Avarice there to make sure you hit a land is fun. Opponent with Fortune Loyal Steed. Okay, so this card, for those that don't know, when it attacks while saddled at the end of combat, you exile it and one other creature that's saddled this turn to return those creatures to the battlefield. So if they play something like a Flesh Gorger, they then get a 7/7 Flesh Gorger. Do I care about that? Just trying to think. So we play Sheoldred. They go down to 18. They play a Steel Seraph maybe. Give this lifelink. Then next turn we can do 9 damage to our opponent. Or we counter whatever they're about to do this turn. I think we go for Shelly. If they've got a removal for Shelly, that puts them off their curve. I'm pretty sure they're going to play like a Steel Seraph or something. Okay, Preacher isn't bad. Honestly, Preacher is not bad. And why are they attacking into my Sheoldred? That is the question here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, Avarice. So I don't want to just force the opponent to draw 3 cards when they're not going to die. I think what we can do here is just play it cool, play it safe. If they attack with their Preacher, they might start drawing cards. Let's just counter whatever they do here. No attacks. We're really leaning on Sheoldred, but we need to get their life total down so that one of these Avarices can just win. So we're definitely not going to block this. No blocks. They are looking like they might be on a tricky style deck with the... Okay, it is a Bronco. Okay, I should have thought about that. Again, do I care about this? Yes. Yes, I do. Let's counter that. Once we find a land, okay. So we gain some more life there. So we should attack. Opponent will probably block. They go down to 14 in their upkeep. We knock them down to 5 with this. I think we can play this. We can plot this, and then we can potentially kill him next turn. Let's attack. Opponent does block. Let's plot the Contractor. And say to the opponent, kill my Sheoldred or die. Because I think they're going to die next turn. They're on 17 life. They're on that 15 life. I was glad we got the Bronco off. Opponent gets in there with their Preacher. Would be nice if they were drawing some cards. Okay, they find another Swamp. Another Preacher. Please no removal. Please no removal. It's not a removal spell, and I'm pretty sure we've got lethal here. My issue, honestly, my massive issue is if we give them the possibility for them to draw. So we can actually only do 3. Yeah, I mean, let's just do this. There's no other way we can do this. We need to just play this now. Sack itself. Opponent's going to draw some cards. They're going to lose a load of life. I'm really hoping that they don't find a removal spell in the cards that they draw. And then we are going to also Avarice here for the other 9 damage. Have we squeaked out a victory here against this Orzhov deck? I think we have. Yeah, its triggers are on the stack. That's a fantastic win there in our first game. Wow, that is exactly what I was trying to do. Do you call that a combo? I think so. I don't think our games are going to go that well anymore. Knowing what the opponent was playing was important. They were just trying to get maximum value from their Bronco. They're also presumably playing the Avarice here. I was just worried that they were going to draw a go for the throat as we just literally gave them 5 cards there. But yeah, that is exactly what we were trying to do. I'm pretty chuffed with that one. We'll go into another game here. There's no way we're going to win the second game, is there? It's a very raw video, this one. No edits, no cuts. gets to see what I try and do. Let me know if you enjoy that. I might just try these every now and again. There's a few videos I want to try and do, and I'm thinking of making some kind of random card generator to determine what card we're going to play with on a video. Cut down, Bat, and Avarice. Pretty unexciting. But yeah, we'll keep that. I did like the Avarice last game looking for a land. In fact, I don't think our hand was very good at all. The Avarice was used for two different reasons there, to both get a land drop, or ensure we got a land drop, and then to win us the game at the end. But yeah, even if we lose the next 5, I'm pretty happy we won that game. Opponent with a Dross Pit's tapped, okay. Or we'll play our Swamp, say go. Don't like having the island here. It's the real problem with the 3 black mana of this. Opponent looks like they are on Rakdos, and that is Magda. And I am going to destroy Magda, because Magda is too good for us. It's a good card, but it does show the opponent's hand a little bit, that they are no doubt playing a crime deck, so... Okay, I actually don't like any of these cards. I'm thinking of playing taking their Anvil. It's going to force them to Abrade, take up their whole next turn, and then we have another Bat to come in and take the Anvil again. I really can't stand playing against Anvil decks, so let's do that. Like I said, they're going to be forced to play their removal spell, and then we've got another Bat coming. Well, they didn't. They went for the Blood Spatter Analysis. Of course, that does 3 damage itself, sure. Did they mill there? Rankle and Torbran. Okay, glad that happened. So probably play the islands here, counter their Anvil. Then the following turn we can bat the Abrade. I didn't know this did 3 damage when it ETBs. So they might not want to play Facebreaker. Okay, well, we'll let that one go. Not too concerned about that. Dark Click assures for us. So when this deals combat damage to player, create a treasure, sack a treasure, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Sure. Still going to counter the Anvil. They might think we have like a make disappear or something. Yep, Anvil is going to definitely be countered here. Opponent is going to get in there with their Facebreaker and make a treasure. So we're going to find a way to get rid of this Facebreaker. It's going to be important as well. Unscrupulous Contractor, hey? Okay, well, I think what I want to do here is let's bat the opponent, see what's up. They might Abrade straight away. And then we're going to Avarice. So let's make sure we get this tapped right. We're going to Avarice and we're going to find a Shelly to put on top of our deck. So let's bat the opponent. I don't know if that is a word here. They may Abrade. Still get to look in their hand and see what we are going to be playing around. Yep, Abrade straight for our bat. And it is a Oni Cult, Anvil, and Braids. Fantastic. Alright, well, let's grab a Shelly for next turn. Oops, that's definitely not what I want to be doing. And Shelly, well, they don't have a removal spell, so not too concerned, but they are going to get an Anvil here. Okay, it's Forge. Sure, they are on a nice little Rakdos brew here. With the Blood Spatter Analysis and the Onikal Anvil, the Forge. What does this even do? When it has 5 counters in it, sack it and return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. But we're just going to do what we did in the last game. We're going to play Sheoldred and attempt to just beat them with the 2 cards I've got, the Contractor and the Avarice. Okay, opponent's going to take some damage here. Okay, interesting turn for them here. It would be nice if I could find a creature that I don't that so I can start blocking this face breaker, to be honest. Braids, not my biggest concern. Getting in there with their 2-3. They're going to start sacking their 2-1, but Shielded on the battlefield is going to mitigate the life gain. I think they gain life. Oh no, we lose life. They're going to start losing cards, losing life themselves. Gonna need to find a blocker here or two. Opponent's got a very fiddly deck here. And they're going to be able to return what, the Rankle and Torbrand at some point. Each player sacks a creature. It's going to be annoying when that drops. See what they want to do here, though. I'm going to decline that one. Opponent's going to take some damage here. Lose 2 life. Yeah. Lose that life. Now we can get them down to 12 if they don't block the braids. If they don't block, they die. I think. 12. Plus these 2 cards. Yeah, let's just attack. They have to block. I'm pretty sure that is what's going on here. They don't block. And they don't have any mana. So let's make sure we tap this right. Force the opponent to draw some cards. Make sure we have the mana available for the Unscrupulous Contractor. Are we going to get a second win in a row here with our silly little deck? I think we might. I just don't know what they could do. Just to make sure we tap our mana correctly. And yeah, I think I'm loving this deck so far. This is kind of crazy. Unscrupulous Contractor, hey? The little 3/2 common from the most recent set. Definitely going to be exploiting itself. Although it's not an exploit ability here. Yeah, just force the opponent to draw some more cards. Sheldred's going to trigger. This Rankle, let me think about this. This is when it deals combat damage player. Okay. Body dropper. Okay, they get to... I'm not sure what they can do here. It goes to their hand, not even the battlefield. Yeah, these are tricky little cards. But the opponent's going to die. Yeah, they didn't really want to die there, but they certainly are. And Shelly, once again, outperforms. This time, a pretty nice deck here. Opponent GG's. That was kind of a good game. I don't say we're lucky, but the Avarices, again, second game in a row to win. All right, well, I'm actually just going to leave it here for the minute. I know we've only just played the 2 games. But this has already gone on for about 30 minutes or so. So what have we learned about our little deck and our little exercise here? We've learned that Shelly is still a very good card here. It is a card that fits really nicely in this particular build. Didn't get to do the Step Between Worlds. I have done that in other games on other days, and I will maybe see if I can find some footage of that to get that up soon. It's pretty nice when it goes off. Little MVP there though was the Unscrupulous Contractor, and obviously Shelly with the counterspell. So yeah, this has been a really good particular game and deck here. If you have any thoughts on this, I would like to hear. If you have any decks around Shielded and Step Between the Worlds, that would be pretty nice as well. I will put up another video soon with this deck with a little bit more game footage there, because I don't know if we were just lucky there, but we got to see how well the Insatiable Avarice works without necessarily saddling up Broncos. So yeah, another raw video like this is going to be coming up soon, but let me know in the comments what you think of it, and I'll catch you again in the next video.